Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm the head of customer onboarding and enablement at TeamOhana. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through our new private headcount feature. We heard from our customers that they wanted a way to ensure that their confidential roles remained super confidential, that they could add them to TeamOhana to their hiring plan and ensure that only the people who needed access to those roles had access. So we launched our private headcount feature last week, and I'm going to show you how it works. So what I'm going to do is I will say, for example, that we're going to hire a chief customer officer for my organization. What you'll do is you'll fill in all the standard forms or all the standard fields you typically fill out when you're requesting new headcount. And when you get to the next page, right before you submit for approval, you'll see, is this a private headcount? As you can see from the text here, private headcount is only visible to people who are explicitly given access to the headcount. So the person creating the request, anyone that you've added as a collaborator, the reporting manager of the role, and any recruiter you've added as well. So I'll mark this as a private headcount. You'll see that the approver has changed. If I turn this off, we have 3 approvers. If I turn it on, we have 1. Reason being, we have a dedicated approval flow for private headcount to ensure, again, that only the people that need access to this role have access to it. What I'll do is I will request approval, and you'll see right away that as this request gets created, it's already marked as a private headcount with this purple banner and this purple padlock icon. So as the reporting manager of the role, I will have access to it. I'm also the creator, so I have access to that anyway. And then down here, we have our add collaborators section. This is going to invite anyone that I give access to be able to view the role. So let's add Aaron as a collaborator here. And so now Aaron will be able to access this role once it gets approved and is added to our hiring plan. I'll show you as well what it looks like when there's a private headcount that's already been added to the hiring plan. You can see I have access to 1 private headcount. I have this sub filter here on my plan. And when I click on it, I can see that private headcount that gets shown up in my results. It is, of course, designated by that purple padlock. And when I open up the job details, I see that banner again. So as you can see, Miller Sullivan is the reporting manager. He will have access to this headcount. We have a couple of collaborators here, Oliver Scott and Seema, so they also have access. But aside from that, and Jayesh, who is the recruiter on the role, no one else will have access in my TeamOhana account to this headcount unless I explicitly give them access. If I try to leave a comment for somebody and they don't have access to this headcount, I'll be reminded that this is a private role in order to give Patrick access to it to be able to leave this comment for him that he will then be able to see. I need to add him as a collaborator. So if I click on mention and add collaborator, then Patrick gets added as a collaborator for the role. If I clicked on the X on the comment, it would just have not left the comment at all, and it wouldn't have added Patrick as a collaborator. Everywhere across the platform where you see headcount, you will see, if you have access to private headcount, you'll see that purple icon with the padlock. So let's go, for example, into my headcount tab. That private role, I believe, was in hiring active. And so there is that subfilter again that calls out my private headcount. Something to note here is if I am not a collaborator or if I'm not someone who has access to this private role, I won't see this headcount anywhere. My experience of TeamOhana will be as if that headcount did not exist. So I would see 77 hiring active instead of 78. I would see 661 in my forecast instead of 662. So do note that you, as someone who has access to private headcount, might have a slightly different experience in TeamOhana. Your metrics might look a little bit different than someone who does not have private access. So let us know if you have any questions about this new role. Reach out to us if you have any questions about how to implement it on your TeamOhana account, and we look forward to hearing your feedback.